Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
The truth shall set you free.
You can't handle the truth.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold?
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Hasta la vista, baby.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
Hello and welcome to the Creative Control Podcast, episode number 20. This is the third part of our Euros sports special, where we are trying to figure out our top 10 greatest sports movies ever. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, go back and watch episodes 18 and 19. So we started off with the group stage where we got together a list of 40 films. And then in the last episode, we reduced that down in the semi-finals to a list of 20, which is where we're at today for the final. So we have a list of 20 movies, which are now going to get down to our final top 10. So joining me, the same as the last couple of past podcasts, we have Chris, Greg, Neil, Sal, and Sasha. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's gonna be interesting to see where we go with this. So what we're gonna do with the format with this is everybody's gonna put forward one movie they want to go into the top 10, which will give us 6 with the 4 open spaces, and then we're going to debate those down to make sure we get our final top 10 list. So I think we started with Chris previously, so I think we'll just start there. So Chris, give me your number 1 movie to go into the top 10.
Rocky.
Okay, stole it.
Straight out the gate.
Okay, so we just had a little warm up on the podcast just before we talking. Rocky came up as part of the conversation, and it's a shoe-in, you know. So it's a 3-time Oscar winner, 1977 Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Editing. It started a franchise which is accumulated in 6 movies plus the 2 Creed movies. So it's just a phenomenon, and yeah, I think it's just a part of our culture now, right? It's the character, the music, the underdog story. We do have another Rocky movie in this top 20 list of films, which is just a different kind of Rocky movie, where it went from the gritty to the sort of like more fantastical part of and the spectacle of the boxing arena. But anybody else want to pass any comments on Rocky?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Sal, you just need to sort that out. I can't believe after with 3 podcasts now we're talking about this Rocky. You haven't seen it. I can't. I don't know what to do.
I swear they're all on Prime, man. They're all on Prime at the minute, man. Just
watch them, and they're short. And they're short because they're old films. They're like 2 hours.
Yeah, not like 2.5 hour movies, exactly.
Well, I'll start.
Watched Fast and Furious 9 and you haven't seen Rocky 1.
Yeah, right. Oh god. Let's be talking about it.
Anyway,
upset.
Great movie.
Right. Okay. So we've got our first one. So Greg, going to come over to you. What is your film that you're going to put in? I think I might know what it is, but you know.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed because the film I really wanted to get in didn't make it into the semi-finals, which was Speed Racer. I was, fighting time, and it just didn't make it.
Just cut down its prime.
No,
wasn't given a chance, really.
You can probably see behind me, it gives you a little bit of a hint. So the film that I'm going to be putting through is The Karate Kid. So,
nice.
Throw a curveball there.
Hey.
Field of Dreams is a classic, and I really want it in there, and I hope someone else represents. But if there's a film that I've watched more times than anyone, is the franchise that got me excited, and it continues to do so with Cobra Kai and stuff like that. It's The Karate Kid. It's the music's a classic again. Bizarrely, as its links to Rocky, I think the best around was pitched for Rocky 3, was beaten out by Eye of the Tiger, so they put it into that. And yeah, I just love it. It's it's not as highbrow as probably some of the things on here. It's not as much of a thinker, but just for sheer entertainment value and quotability, and me as a kid doing the crane kick and all that very poorly and stuff. Yeah. It's just a classic. And again, its legacy lives on with Cobra Kai, which is how to do nostalgic TV and how to get everyone excited. So, yeah. So
absolutely, that was going to be my number 1 choice to make sure it was in there. It's it was defining parts of my childhood. He was this young boy who was like kind of picked on, and just I had a small group of friends at school myself, and I was normally always like the tallest in the class. Always got picked on because of my height and stuff like that. And it was just this movie that kind of embraced, to be able to defend yourself and just take a stance. And I often I practiced karate in my house. I was practicing the punches and the kicks. Got myself I took on judo at the time, I think, because there wasn't any karate classes where I was. Judo was like the only available ones. I was like, as close as I'm gonna do that. And I had the Karate Kid figures. You could get the figures to do the chop action, and you had like, I think it was like wood blocks that would break when you cut them and stuff like that. They even sold chopsticks with a wire with a fly on it, so you could like swing it up. And like I had that, it was just like I absolutely love that movie. And like I say, it's spawned a franchise, and and I think what Netflix series has done with that, with the original movies and those original characters, is fantastic, and it just reinforces that. So totally on board. Anybody else got any points about Karate Kid?
There's
That's
only
amazing.
2 movies and 1 TV show. That's what Karate Kid is. I don't know what people are talking about when they're like, "Oh, I like the remake." There was no remake.
There was no remake. I mean, that's just insulting. The remake, and it's like, oh, we're going to call the Karate Kid, we're going to teach him kung fu. It's like, oh, for fuck, that's literally it's in the title. Surely, if you were going to remake it, that's the most fundamental thing.
It's got to be the Kung Fu Kid.
I seriously though, like we look at like the effect of it, the long-term effect of that film, and how it made karate into something that was practiced far more in the West. And then you look at something like, I don't know, how like Kung Fu and the TV shows that came from the martial arts, for that martial artists, actors who got their breaks in Hollywood because people liked that film, so therefore they brought more films over. Like then they may not have brought films over from there that were martial arts if that hadn't had done so well. You don't know. I'm not saying it was the first one, but that helped open the door a bit more. Those type of films, the more serious kung fu films to come over.
I remember when Karate Kid came out. I mean, the amount of karate, schools that popped up everywhere. I mean, I lived in the Middle East and North America, both places popped up everywhere. Everybody was into it. Everybody wanted to put their kids into it. It's sort of a discipline that where either for the kid, I think for the parents was just to get rid of them for a couple of hours, but for the kids and everybody, technically for everybody, it became a cultural phenomenon. In essence, I mean, the terms became part of our speech essentially.
I mean, do you ever paint a wall or fence or anything now without doing the up and down?
Oh,
no,
right.
Or buff a car,
right?
Watching a car. It's always
I think how ingrained it is in my system. When you go, if anyone who works out, anyone watching this or listening to this podcast, when you go to the gym, currently 2020, you have to clean the equipment before and after you use it. Now, on Friday, so this was 2 days ago, I had to use a mat. So after I used it, I cleaned it before I used it, and then when I was cleaning it, when I was finished with it, instinctively, wax on, wax off.
All right. So, we're going to move on to Neil. Neil, what is your movie that you're going to make sure is in the top 10?
The Mighty Ducks.
I saw that coming.
Good choice.
No circumstances will it be. I will not ever choose anything other than the Mighty Ducks.
So tell me what this movie means to you. Like, why is it? Because it's kind of been like first choice, like all the way through. So, what is it about that movie that you want recognized?
For me, it's like, okay, the majority of movies that we have in when we think of sports films, really and truly, the majority of them are usually about one individual. Rocky is about Rocky. The Karate Kid's mainly about Daniel LaRusso. Jerry Maguire is about Jerry Maguire. It's
Kingpin.
Yeah, most of these
Gilmore,
are
etc.
one person. But I feel when you make a film about a team, it does something different. And The Mighty Ducks was the first time that I saw a sports film about a team that were children. Like, I know that there's things like, you know, the Bad News Bears and stuff that came before it. But for me, I was roughly the same age as the characters in the movie. And watching that film, it started my fascination with ice hockey. From that film, I learned how to skate and, you know, just like teams. And I played team sports outside of school. And I remember the greatest match we ever had where we won 4-0, just like another team yesterday. we won this game 4-0. And literally before the game, we in the changing room and we did the quack.
Nice.
Quack as a joke. We ran out there, we spanked the team 4-0.
Nice.
And it's just, you know, like a lot of generation of people, you know, they grew up with Harry Potter, you know, they started, Harry Potter was the same age as I am when I started watching the films, and he's grown up and I've grown up. For me, it was the Mighty Ducks, and it was the 3 films, and they were classic. The animated show, which had nothing to do with the films, I also love that. And now they've got Game Changers on Disney Plus. I'm like, the Mighty Ducks sold. And, you know, for the first time ever, I saw black people playing ice hockey.
Yeah.
I just think it does stand up as a film, you know, as a sports and family film. It still does stand up. Like, there's very few films that come across. I think sports films being a sport film helps it stay relevant. I don't think there's been a film like Mighty Ducks since I would be beyond it. I think it definitely needs to be in the top 10.
There's moral lessons in it without the kind of, I don't want to say the extreme because it's not really extreme, but you look at like Karate Kid and you look at the ages that they are kind of dictate what happens in it. But you look at the stakes that Daniel LaRusso has to deal with before getting taught by Mr. Miyagi. He's getting beaten up properly. You know, he gets his ass kicked on that Halloween party.
Yeah, well, he started it.
Yeah. He did. And
all of us are like,
what the state
F word,
that like he was getting beaten and bloody, right? And it's like, to a degree, you could be like, well, that's a bit extreme because the worst certain kids, when you're younger, the worst you really got to deal with at that time was getting called names, maybe people throwing stuff at you.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, Sal, on to you. What is the movie that you are putting forward?
Better say Speed Racer.
No, I'm not gonna say that one. I'm gonna put Rush. I was gonna say Moneyball, but I'm gonna put Rush in. And the reason behind that is simply
tactical.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. I know one person here likes it as well. It's the only movie that I know that does Formula One, shows Formula One properly. Also shows the story of those 2 drivers properly as well. Because there have been plenty of other, not plenty actually, there have been a couple of other movies that cover Formula One, but because they're Americans, so they tend to lean towards IndyCar. They show Indy cars rather than Formula One cars, and it's, you know, has nothing to do with it. This one,
F1 often gets done in documentary style rather than like a feature film.
Exactly, like Senna. You know, Senna covered it, but it was essentially about Senna. It wasn't really about anything else. This one, it is about 2 drivers, but it also has to do with the teams and how they worked and how the business works and how the cars are and how dangerous they were and how these guys simply...
Shocking, wasn't it? It's really shocking.
I mean, they were known as the... what was it called? I think the BBC did a documentary. The deaths here. I mean, the amount of, like, each race would have a death in it.
So much death. It was very rare for there not to be an injury, a serious injury or death, like every race.
Exactly. And showing Niki Lauda's determination of coming out, because like knew that he wasn't dead, and determination to come back onto the track in order to try to win. Not winning at the end of the day. I mean, what it called?
Won the next year.
He won the next year. Not only that, he won the next 3 years. And
Hunt didn't win again.
No, Hunt didn't care. He partied and he buggered off. He became a commentator. He was a commentator on the last win of Niki Lauda, I think. It's really funny. But that said, there was, you had the playboy and you had the guy who was determined to win no matter how rich and they had taken out loans and not only that, the cars were brilliantly shown because they were actual real cars. They were basically made, got people to bring their cars in and film it. It's a Ron Howard movie, so it has that little slow pace. So some people don't like that, but Peter Morgan wrote it.
It built
He's
so
done
well. It
brilliant,
built
yeah.
so well through the film.
Yeah. So I mean, sadly, it has,
yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on Rush?
Never seen it yet.
Well, it was one of my choices. It was like I was like, it was either going to be this or Ford versus Ferrari. But I'll put in my other choice.
I was going to say, what I was going to say is we when we made this list and we talked about motor racing films, we actually left out Cars.
We did. Most of mine were.
And honestly, although
Speed
the first,
Racer.
well, no, yeah, Speed Racer, but honestly, Cars 3, I think.
Oh, that is a magical movie.
Cars 3 could have probably made it into our top, at least the top 40, because I think that last Cars film was a missed opportunity. It's not going to make top 10, but like if you like motor racing films, obviously, you can, like Cars 3 has the most engaging storyline of them all.
Yeah,
the most meat to it.
I haven't seen Rush or any of the Cars movies, and there is only one film out of those ones.
Cars 1's very generic. Cars 2 is a bit fun. Cars 3 is
Cars 1 is not Hollywood.
Yeah, I kind of stopped after Cars 2, and I didn't even want to see
you
that.
guys you guys missed it, man. Cars 1 was a normal story, very simple. Cars guy has to learn something. Cars 2 was just a joke film, like going around the world having fun. Cars 3 was the serious film at the end, with the serious kind of rounding up of the storyline. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing. It's worth seeing.
Yeah.
I've
seen Cars.
That's me as an adult saying that. Not as Daniel said. Daniel likes it. Like I like it as a film.
I get Cars appeal, but that was like the least likely franchise I thought would get to number 3, man. I only saw number 2 because I wasn't forced. It was a staff preview, so I was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, 2 is not anything. 2 is like I feel like a Rocky 5. Like 3 is like a Balboa.
Yes, that is exactly that. It is.
3 is like a Balboa to me. That's how good it is in reference to the other 2 films.
Right.
I've seen those 3 films so many times because my nephew used to watch them one after the other, and I watched them for like a month straight. I can't tell the difference between them anymore.
I'm hearing
I can
words
easily miss 2.
Like Balboa, and it's the serious film. It is still Cars with stupid fucking faces on, isn't it? Right?
But have you read the theory about it though? Which is where humans.
Oh yeah, that is fucking scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You look into that, where the humans in Cars. Look it up, and it says a theory about where they.
Well,
there aren't any.
Yeah.
Where are they?
For me, Cars never really appealed to me. It's my least of the favorite of the
same.
franchises. I really didn't like Cars 2. I think I've seen Cars 3, but I couldn't actually confirm it.
I never bothered.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll try and watch it anyway.
All right. So Sasha, what is the movie that you're putting forward?
What's that? Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, man.
Wow.
If Cool Runnings didn't make the top 10, man, that'd be an injustice. That'd be an actual injustice. To be fair, yeah, like I love that film. I don't think that I've met anyone that doesn't love that film. And like, Shankar would be dead if we didn't get into the top 10. So,
no arguments with me from there. I think it had to be in the top 10.
I was going serious originally. I was thinking Rush or Ford versus Ferrari and have a debate about that. No. But then I have go to a debate over that into which one should be. But hey, Rush won. So, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Cool Runnings.
Glad a film I put forward into the general top 40 ended up as one of the extra ones.
I think Cool Runnings based on a true story. It's amazing.
That's the thing. It's based on true story, and it's such a
and it's rewatchable.
And Jamaican team would compete, but yeah, it's very
deserves to be there.
Okay, so for my pick, I am going to go with The Wrestler. I feel that sport needs to be recognized. That kind of industry. You know, I've always been a huge WWF, WWE fan growing up, and you know, we've seen some of the documentaries and the behind the scenes and stuff. Sort of like the Montreal Screwjob, was it Beyond the Mat? I think that was the one. And this kind of just takes that, but in sort of like more dramatic format. You know, this wrestler, you know, who, you know, is like past his prime and all the dues that he had to pay and stuff like that. It was just, you know, it was a phenomenal performance. And, you know, just, you know, what he kind of put himself through to make that movie look and feel as genuine as it did, I thought was fantastic. So for me, that has to go in there. It was a risk that I might lose out on one or two of the others, but I was like, nah, I think wrestling needed to make sure it was represented.
Yeah. I think it's a very good film.
It's essentially as well is there is a theory that it's partly based on Jake the Snake.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that film is based on a lot of wrestlers. Honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a tale far too similar than it should be.
It happens
but yeah. Okay, so that has given us 6. Okay, so now we've got 4 more spots up for grabs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name some, and we think whether we should get rid of them or they need to stay in the running. So we've got Rush. So does Ford versus Ferrari stay in, or is that gone now? Because we've got our Formula One movie in there.
Well, that's the thing is Ford versus Ferrari. It's a driving racing movie, but it's not about Formula One. I think it's more.
It's a WEC. It's a endurance racing.
The Le Mans or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I mean, I haven't seen Rush, so I can't judge Rush, but I have seen Ford versus Ferrari, and I think the impact of Ford versus Ferrari, the story of what it did to basically the future of that industry is, I want to say, I feel like that's probably more important than that of Rush. I know Rush is already in there; it's not coming out. But to me,
keep it. Then. You're saying keep it in the conversation. You mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Ford
not
versus Ferrari.
pick it in, but it is such a great movie.
I think Rush more. Thinking about it now, I was very pro Ford versus Ferrari, but the difference is Rush is more about the drivers and their rivalry, which, you know, is kind of more engaging to me when I think about the more I think about it. Whereas Ford versus Ferrari is more about the business.
Yeah.
I mean, sure,
the story of that part.
Sure, Christian Bale's character is the driver and the man behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But that's not the only focus of the story. It's more about the business politics and the making of the car itself, you know, rather than sport. Whereas, you know, Rush is about the sport. It's clearly about these two drivers. What, you know, one has an ego the size of my friend Lunas, who I'll name drop, and also very, very French. And you know what? Thinking about it, it's Rush. I wanted to put Ford v Ferrari, like, honestly, but I needed to hear other people's thoughts. Now that I have,
happy to let it go.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm happy to let it go.
I can add another thing is, I can add another thing is that in Ford versus Ferrari, they don't really show Ferrari much. It's only 2 scenes left and right. You know,
yes, because it's one about movie and Ford is what it is. So yeah,
exactly. It did have a big impact on what I call the industry at that time, but for only a few years. But what happened? The impact of Niki Lauda and Nick Gunn was that the development in safety went up and quite up, and not only that, that's impacted all of us, even our own tiny little cars that we drive on our roads, because that technology that was developed there has been what it called tunneled down to us, So they sort of mentioned that at the end of the movie, not really, but because the movie is more about these two characters. But yeah.
All right.
I'm happy to
let's move on. So we're bin it for now because I think we got some better contenders. Any Given Sunday, is that staying as a contender?
Now, yes, I think it's a stay for now.
Actually,
okay. Warrior.
I mean, I'm going to fight the corner for Warrior the whole way through. I think that it's MMA represented. It's a really good film. It's an underdog story where you root for 2 underdogs, sort of. And And yeah, he's got some amazing acting. And
It's a boxing film, right?
Yeah.
Martial arts.
MMA. It's
MMA. Okay, MMA. So I'm just thinking, like, I haven't seen it, so therefore I have a different opinion of it. Fair enough. But like, if I'm just looking at the other lists, other films in the list. I'm thinking if Warrior is an underdog story, double underdog story about MMA, and we've already got a Rocky franchise in there, essentially. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's not about the balance of necessarily getting every sport in there, but I think Warrior is a good movie, and I think
Okay, we'll keep it in. Let's keep it in conversation.
But yeah, let's keep it in. Okay, so A League of Their Own.
It's a brilliant film, but I could comfortably see it gone.
Yeah,
I
agree with that.
I nominated it. And I can see it again.
Getting up to this point, it really does. It's a great film, but it.
Yeah.
I think there
I
are.
can see
we
it.
just got films that we love more than this. It's not that you know, it's nothing.
I wouldn't watch it again now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. You know, this is a list of, this is a list of movies that we thoroughly enjoy. We're taking all sorts of things into consideration: the acting, the performance, the direction, the creativity, but how it just makes us feel and the rewatchability. You know, and I think you can have a fantastic movie, which we said like I, Tonya, which was a great movie, but not necessarily one we're going to revisit. It's not that it's a bad movie; it's just not in our list. So,
it's a great movie.
I think A League of Their Own is gone. What about Kickboxer?
If we
I'm
keep
happy to let that go.
If we Warrior, then we can lose Kickboxer.
Oh yeah, I suppose yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Warrior got beaten by Kickboxer, even though Kickboxer is a massive part of my childhood. Jean-Claude Van Damme's a classic. I just think
It's quite cheesy.
Yeah.
it's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, Van Damme may come after us for that, but okay. So I'm just looking at some of the ones which kind of on the cusp, and then, but we've got some real hitters here. So, how about Eddie the Eagle? Is that a top 10?
I don't think it is.
Because I know
Okay,
Sasha's
fair
a
enough.
fan of it, but I don't know many other people in the
There
group.
are some really good films that you left, Ken, as you said. I think maybe we should, for this point, let's read what's left.
All right. So what we've got left, we've got White Men Can't Jump,
Oh, sorry.
Field of Dreams.
Can we just put Field of Dreams in now, because it's not just an amazing movie. It's often
I'm happy for it to go
It
in.
needs to go in now.
often
It
in the
needs to go
best
in now.
movies, let alone the best sports movie. You'll see in the top 10 best movies of all time. Most of them will go Shawshank Redemption, Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. I'm happy for that to go in. Agreed?
Get in.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams goes in for me.
Okay, so we've got White Men Can't Jump, Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, Warrior, Rocky IV, Kingpin, Eddie the Eagle, Jerry Maguire, Dodgeball, and Happy Gilmore.
We lose Rocky
And
IV.
we've only got 3 spots left.
Yeah,
We've got to lose Rocky IV then.
I
No
think
more.
I think Rocky IV is one of my favorite movies, but we have got the original Rocky in there. I'm happy for that to be in there because of the type of movie it is and the quality of it is. I probably watched Rocky IV more times, but yeah, Rocky is the better movie.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what? Side note, for anyone who's listening or watching this podcast who has never seen any of these films, there's 3 episodes and everyone has had a debate about Rocky. Go watch the first Rocky. You'll watch the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I said I'll watch it, man.
Sounds like whoa.
About Rocky 4, you may not watch the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a bit like, if you haven't seen Rocky 1 to 3, starting with Rocky 4, you may be like, I'm not watching this.
No, you have to start with Rocky 1.
Rocky
Yeah,
1.
You have to start with the original Rocky. Okay, so
Rocky
what
IV,
about
sorry,
what about Dodgeball? Because we kept saying about this movie all the way through, but does it make our top 10?
Very funny, very quotable. I'd put it over as a ridiculous
I need to group them.
comedy.
I need to group
I'd
what
put
we've
it
got.
over Happy Gilmore every day.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Kingpin, Eddie the Eagle, Dodgeball, Happy Gilmore need to go together as a group and we decide.
I don't think Eddie the Eagle does. It's not that type of movie. But I would say,
Okay, Kingpin.
so if you've got Kingpin,
It's hard, man. That is real hard.
Yeah,
Why
King,
you
yeah,
think
it is
it's hard?
Kingpin, the Kingpin, Dodgeball. That's why we're not paid to be here. So Kingpin, Dodgeball, Happy Gilmore.
Dodgeball.
I'm
What,
gonna
out of
say
those 3, what are you taking?
Happy
Kingpin.
Gilmore.
I picked Happy.
All right, so Sasha's got Happy Gilmore. What else we got? So
Kingpin.
you're going Kingpin, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going Kingpin.
Got another for Kingpin.
I'm gonna say Bill Murray to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, I'm Kingpin. I'm done. Sold. Kingpin.
Bad note for anyone who's on the fence. The turkey that Bill Murray gets is real. He really.
I would be happy to take 2 of the 3, but if we're gonna, I think we need to think.
We may end up doing so, but
Kingpin has to. I think Kingpin.
You know what? That's really surprised me because, you know, I don't feel as a group of friends we talk about Kingpin much at all. But we've always refer to Happy Gilmore. We always quote Happy Gilmore. All that kind of stuff, and so that really does surprise me. I'm not saying.
I think Kingpin was just too early a film to be rewatched like on TV. Dodgeball comes on TV a lot more, so I've rewatched it probably more. But actually, when it first came out, I probably watched Kingpin at least half a dozen times.
Yeah, same
on DVD and VHS.
Yeah.
And I know James really enjoyed it as well when we used to do it before I know you guys. But we saw it together. So we both say it's great films. And again, Woody Harrelson. I mean, Bill Murray. I mean, it's just a great film. Yeah. And if I'm choosing a funny film over those 3. I don't know. Yeah, it has to. I think it's really surprising me as well. As I say, looking at those 3 films and choosing Kingpin, it surprises me, but it's the right decision.
Votes the votes.
Yeah. All right. All of us have been bowling, yes?
No, I am.
Right. So now, have you ever in your head, when you've been ready to bowl, ever thought about, being able to make the ball stop and do the splits and the whole thing? And
I think it's quite
disappointing.
To be honest,
I split my trousers, but I split splits.
I've always been a little bit wary of where the ball comes out, though. My hand going in there, so that's probably something
exactly because the safety talk from the film.
I've only seen it once. That's the one scene I remember. That
interesting. I agree. It's a bit of a mark. I agree. I think Dodgeball is really strong. So we might come back to it.
All right. Well, the thing is, we got 2 spots left.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got White Men Can't Jump, Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, Warrior, Eddie the Eagle, Jerry Maguire, Dodgeball, and Happy Gilmore. We've got 2
Jerry Maguire.
I'm all up for Jerry Maguire.
I don't know, man. No, I don't think it's enough of a sports film.
No,
I don't think it's enough. I think it's more about his journey.
It is probably
White Men Can't Jump. I'd lose that. I'd lose White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, I'd
argue Moneyball
because it's the fact that they are good at basketball doesn't detract from the fact that it's about them hustling other people. If it wasn't basketball, if it was poker, you could have the exact same story.
But no, if we're saying poker is a sport, then Rounders is a great.
No, because poker.
Yeah,
right. I mean, if it was, if it was chess, then we could have been. It would have been the Queen's Gambit. But
Oh, that's a great.
What I'm saying is that the fact that they're playing basketball.
I think we can lose. I don't like it, but I think we should. From the films that are left, White Men Can't. Personally, White Men Can't Jump.
See, White Men Can't Jump is one of my all-time favorite films.
No, it is.
But I would say is from a, because there's different ways you can kind of look at this. Like, we're not looking at just necessarily competitive sports because there's competition in it. So like Karate Kid, the competition's very end is second to the rest of the story. But to be honest, in all these movies that we have, there is that, there is a tournament. Even White Men Can't Jump has got the tournament at the end and stuff like that. So they've all got that aspect in it. But I'm loath to let White Men Can't Jump, but I see your other people's arguments because that was actually in my top 10. So I selected my top 10. That was in it. And what's interesting is 5 of my top 10 aren't in our list at the moment. So it just shows how different we come from it. But I will fight Jerry Maguire again more than White Men Can't Jump. Because
there we go. We have to get to the point now. Which one?
For me, Jerry Maguire is around American football, but it's not necessarily just about the game, about the team. It is about an agent and how they navigate that business and industry. It's about a relationship between a player and their agent, similar to stuff like what Ballers has done, as a TV series and stuff like that. And and that competitive nature. Yes, you've got the love story that underlines it, and but that could be said for a lot of these other things. King's got the love story that goes on in the back, and Rocky has got the love story that goes on in the back. So I don't think that lessens it as a sports movie. And everything that character does is based on his idol, who's that person in that industry. He lives by those quotes, he lives by the mantras and stuff like that. So and I think Jerry Maguire was robbed of Best Picture that year. I think it's against English Patient or some bullshit. So,
that bullshit film. Yeah,
you all know how I feel.
For me, Jerry Maguire has to be in there, and I'd put it against over Dodgeball, Happy Gilmore,
Any Given Sunday.
I'd put it over all those movies. So that's how I feel. But I don't know if anyone else.
You should do that then. American football, 2 American football films.
So what, Jerry Maguire or Moneyball?
Moneyball, I think Jerry Maguire beats Moneyball.
Moneyball
story, very similar. I watched Moneyball the other day, last night even, and it is love it, love the film. It's a great film, but it's more modern based. To be fair to them, so it's more relevant to more modern people watching it.
Moneyball baseball.
Yeah,
baseball. Yeah.
Moneyball's baseball, but it's about watch this out. So I watched it last night. It was good, and it's not just about the story. It's about the
all right. So if we're comparing football films, then is Jerry Maguire or Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday is Any Given Sunday is infinitely better than Jerry Maguire will ever be.
Jerry Maguire for me.
All right, okay. So I guess we've got
Any Given Sunday.
So we've got Sasha, myself, and Greg for Jerry Maguire.
Me and Neil for Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. Come on now, right?
I haven't watched Any Given Sunday. To be fair, I haven't watched Any Given Sunday in probably about 15 years or something. So
But I want to watch it again now.
I will have to give it a rewatch. But, okay, so Sal, it's down to you.
Sal, yeah. No pressure, Sal.
That hurt. Oh man, I haven't watched either of those movies since they came out.
Wait. Sal, here, one last thing. You love Moneyball, right? After this, we're doing Jerry Maguire versus Moneyball. So if you want Moneyball to win, let's knock Jerry Maguire out now.
No, I think it's now bribery. You just ask for
exactly.
It's got to that stage. We were like, oh, this will be an easy episode. No.
The thing is.
All right. So if we think about how passionate we are about these movies, so let's go back. So at the end of the day, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've still got 2 spots left. All right. So the argument could be Jerry Maguire and Any Given Sunday can go in there. But it's about, out of the remaining films, what you want to put forward. So I think it's going to be more of a case of that. So, we've got
from this list.
So I think we all agree we're going to lose White Men Can't Jump.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're happy for that to go.
I need to vote on these now, I think.
What about Happy Gilmore?
I'm okay with
the fact that we've got Any Given Sunday, Jerry Maguire, Moneyball left. Would you want
Happy Gilmore, Dodgeball? We get more Dodgeball and Happy Gilmore for me.
Do you know what? We've got Kingpin, right? Kingpin's in there. Okay, I could lose Happy Gilmore. I'm content with that.
Okay, Happy Gilmore. So, and what about Dodgeball?
I'm content to lose. Well,
I mean, I like Dodgeball, but I wouldn't put it in over Moneyball or Warrior, which I'd fight.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Same here.
Right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so we've got 5 movies left, 2 spots. Okay, so I'm going to go through and ask each of you which one movie you're going to want to put in. Okay, so we've got Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, Warrior, Eddie the Eagle, and Jerry Maguire. Or you can give me your top 2. So give me the 2 that you'd want to put forward. So I'll go through that again. So we've got Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, Warrior, Eddie the Eagle, Jerry Maguire. Chris, what 2 are you putting through?
Any Given Sunday and Jerry Maguire.
All right. And Greg, what 2 are you putting through?
Moneyball and Warrior.
Okay. Neil, which 2 are you putting through?
Any Given Sunday and Warrior.
Ooh. Any Given Sunday and Warrior. Okay. Sal, which 2 are you putting through?
Moneyball and Jerry Maguire.
Moneyball and Jerry Maguire.
2 votes each for those 3 films.
Sasha, what are you going for?
Hang on, what will?
So we got
top 2 films on that list of 5.
Eddie the Eagle, and Jerry Maguire.
And Jerry, 3.
So I've got 2 votes left. So I
Jerry
am.
Maguire,
I am
okay.
also going Jerry Maguire. So Jerry Maguire is in.
All right.
And now we've got Moneyball with 2 votes, Any Given Sunday with 2 votes, or Warrior with 2 votes.
And Eddie with 1.
And Eddie was 1. So Eddie's out.
Well, you could vote 2.
Yeah,
You can vote.
this
make
episode
it
won't
better.
finish then, so I'm gonna make it easier. So we've got Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, or Warrior.
And so could we vote on those 3?
Oh, we have voted. It's down to Ken to choose which of these 3.
Yes, you've all got 2 votes, haven't they? Yeah.
I'm happy to put it back out again. I'm happy to put it back out again on those on the basis of
choose
those
one.
3.
Just choose 1.
Okay.
You know, as I'm the host, I'm feeling generous.
Because I say that like Greg voted for both Warrior and Moneyball, so choosing one of the 2 would be better rather than both.
So now, out of these 3 movies, what are you putting through? Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, or Warrior? Chris.
Any Given Sunday.
Right. Greg.
Warrior.
Oh, he's gone for Warrior over Moneyball. Neil. Moneyball, Any Given Sunday, Warrior.
Anything to change? It's like no.
Those 2 films is literally like it's choosing between like what do you want the world, you know, it's like, oh well, what do you want the gold medal for? Do you want it for the 100-meter sprint or do you want it for the 100-meter relay?
Yeah, is that, yeah. You got to choose. We'll come back to you. Go to Sal. Go for it. Come on.
All right, I'll come back. Sal, what are you going for?
Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Nice.
Sasha.
Any Given Sunday.
Any
Yes!
Given Sunday. All right. Okay.
Go back to Neil.
Neil, you could close the argument with Any Given Sunday, or you give Moneyball or Warrior a lifeline.
Warrior.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, man. It's making me want to go watch Warrior after this.
Under pressure.
Warrior's so good.
I'll watch it.
It is Warrior.
Sophie's choice.
Warrior.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's nice because then it goes down to Ken.
Vote again.
So now it's down to me. I tried to be diplomatic and put it back out there. Now it's just all come back to me again.
You got choice of 2 now. Literally just choice of 2. It's Any Given Sunday or Warrior.
Yeah, it is. So Moneyball is out. Which
sorry, Sal. It's a great film.
Beginning,
Yeah,
I
that's
had
all
my
right.
top 10, which surprised me.
Wait,
But listening to the arguments of the others, it does change your mind and stuff like that. But you know, Moneyball is out, so that is done. I am going to go for
Speed Racer.
I'll put what I want in, damn it. I'm going to go Any Given Sunday.
Yes.
Hey.
It was a tough call. Out of the 2 movies, even though Any Given Sunday, I haven't seen it in so long, that has stayed with me more in terms of the movie, what it's about, and the performances and all that kind of stuff. So that's my reason for it. I think it would have been nice for maybe to say Warrior for getting MMA kind of represented in the list, but I've just gone over which I think is the better movie. So, all right. So this is where I find out I've actually got it wrong. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we got 10. It's all good. Okay. So our top 10 greatest sports movies ever, according to the Creative Control team, is Rush, Field of Dreams, The Mighty Ducks, Any Given Sunday, The Wrestler, The Karate Kid, Cool Runnings, Kingpin, Rocky, and Jerry Maguire. Strong list.
That's a strong list. That's a varied list of different types of films as well.
I think the most surprising one for me in there is actually Kingpin. I didn't think it'd actually be in there. I thought it'd either be Dodgeball or Happy Gilmore personally, but I'm fine with it being in there because I absolutely love the movie. Any other person surprises of that list?
Jerry Maguire.
And Rush. I didn't appreciate how many people on Rush as well, I think.
I haven't seen it very many times, but when I've seen it twice, and I can't stop watching it. It's a film like Field of Dreams in that respect, where the Field of Dreams comes on, I see it's on, I try, but I can't. I'll have to watch the rest of the film. I have to watch all of it. And I can't watch, and the same with Rush. Like, it's such an engrossing film. And I I think it comes down to the acting in it, like the two main characters in it. They play, the writing's great, but they play the characters so well for me, and I'm happy for it to be the motor racing film representative in there.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the list?
Mighty Ducks, I do like it, and I first I liked it originally. But I'm thinking like Mighty Ducks over Warrior. I'm thinking.
This is the beauty where we all had
but it has its own merits. Like it does.
Yeah,
it's a great film, but it does. But I'm surprised.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have put Mighty Ducks in there, for example, but that's the beauty of this collective. This is the collective. So okay, cool.
That's the same thing here. Like I remember, I ruined the Mighty Ducks VHS tape that I had because I rewatched it so many times. Then my dad said, "No, I'm not gonna buy you this again," because I bought it twice. But because of that, I haven't watched it since. So I gotta. It's on. I know it's on Disney Plus right now, so I'm gonna watch all of it. There are a lot more parts than I thought there were actually. So,
Sasha, out of those movies, what would you have gotten rid of to get Eddie the Eagle in there?
Speed Racer.
What was the list again?
Sasha somewhere else.
To get Eddie the Evil in there.
Our final list was Rush, Field of Dreams, The Mighty Ducks, Any Given Sunday, The Wrestler, The Karate Kid, Bull Runnings, Kingpin, Rocky, or Jerry Maguire. Would you got rid of any of those for Eddie the Eagle?
This is gonna piss Neil off, but I would have got fucking Jerry Maguire out of the list and for fucking Eddie.
And Neil's happy.
No, Neil wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Neil wanted it out. Okay, cool. All right, that's okay. So if people will tell us that we're wrong. Some might agree with us, but most people will say no, you couldn't have left this movie out. In order for them to do so, where can they catch you on social media, Greg?
I'm on Twitter and generally on social media at BoardGamerGreg.
Neil?
Find me, the Neil Coppin on Instagram.
Sal?
Sal F1. Sal _F1 at Twitter, Instagram, whatever you like.
Sasha?
SashaMan3
on Twitter.
Yep, on Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at Ken Talks Film or at Creative Control. Chris, we know you're a ghost, so don't worry. Thank you very much for joining us today, gentlemen. Thank you very much for the listeners.
Thank you.
We hope you appreciated our efforts for this sports themed tournament. If you want to catch, like I said, the previous episodes on how we got here, you've got episode 18 and 19, parts 1 and part 2. But you can catch all our episodes on YouTube. Please make sure you like this video, share and subscribe. We really appreciate the support. And you can get our podcast from anywhere that you download your podcast, basically. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it, guys. And until next time, game over.